My name's Rich Harrington, and welcome to this edition of Understanding Adobe Photoshop. Today, we're going to tackle one of the coolest features of Photoshop CS5, and that is 3D text extrusion thanks to Repose. Here's how it works. I can go ahead and select a layer here, and under the 3D menu, I could choose Repose. Now, you're going to need to have Photoshop extended in order to access this. So some of you will have this, some of you won't. But I think it's a great reason to consider moving up to extended if you don't have it. I'll go ahead and choose text layer here. Now it's going to go ahead and rasterize the text, which means it's converting it from vector data into raster or pixel-based data. Now it takes a second as it thinks for a minute here, and it's going to run through and do that conversion process. Now it opens up and you've got a lot of controls here to take a look at. One of the things to realize is this is a 3D object, so you can actually sort of rotate this in 3D space, giving it the angle that you want. In this case, I'm going to sort of tilt it down like it's flying towards you. And we can rotate it along other axes as well. This little 3D HUD here makes that simpler to do. If you just carefully mouse over, you can actually see the control points, and you can rotate things around. Let's take a look at this here. That looks pretty good. Take a little bit of an angle. There we go. And we've got some different shapes to choose from. So if we click here, you'll see that the bevels are going to change. Takes a second as it thinks. And we can deal with the extrusion, where we assign a depth, talk about the scale, apply textures, and all sorts of other options. Let's pull that depth in just a little bit. That looks better. We'll go with 0.25. We could apply a little bit of twisting if we want. And notice there we did quite a bit, so it sort of gives it a rose-like look, but I'll simplify that down to just a value of 20. You see it gives it a little bit of an angle. Pretty cool stuff there, like it's coming at you. If you want to keep that subtle, you can just go with a value like 3. And pretty cool effect, or just set it back to 0, whatever works for you. You've got the ability to actually change the material and assign different materials to each side or face. For example, here we can put a little bit of texture on the front. Different ones to choose from. Sort of making it look like it's filled with holes there, or treat it with a pretty straightforward, normal flat surface. You can scroll down and choose other options as you go. If you want to, just click the sub-menu, and there's actually more materials that you can load, and your custom ones are an option as well. We'll apply a material to the bevel there, and let's change the front surface just a little bit. There we go. There we go. Let's go ahead and apply a bevel. I'll put a little bit of width on it there. We'll put a height of 2 and a width of 4. We'll choose a different color so it stands out a bit better. There we go. You see our colors being applied. Nice rough texture. We've got the ability to actually add our own lights if we want to, or change the view for the scene. We could say from a preset, just take this to the top or right from the front, and the camera angle will reset. You can also, as we did before, feel free to tweak this and rotate the model around until you get the angle you want. That's looking pretty good. And once you're satisfied with the look, you could just click OK to apply it. Now, there's a lot to Repose, and you're going to want to fully explore all the different features. It's going to take a pretty beefy graphics card, so I recommend if you're first getting started, try a pretty low resolution graphic first to play with. Once you get the handle with it, there's a lot it can do, and add it to your design workflow. For Understanding Adobe Photoshop, my name's Rich Harrington.